Move to New England. You're fresh off the boat in New England. Who's your football team? Who's your baseball team? Who's your hockey team? And your basketball team. So there's no sports fan, no Boston teams. What's your go-to team?
Okay, so in the NBA, for me, I would have to say it would be the Phoenix Suns. I don't know why. I've always loved Phoenix. And I think that maybe there's some historical value to this because Danny Ainge had a baseball career. And a lot of people don't know this. He was a second baseman
for the Blue Jays.
For the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
After he won the championships with the Big Three and everything, they transferred him over to the Phoenix Suns, and there were some other historical things between the Phoenix Suns. So Phoenix Suns is my team there. In baseball, I don't know why, but I love the Colorado Rockies. I don't know why, I just do. Las Vegas Golden Knights for the NHL and for the NFL, San Francisco. I loved 49ers. I don't know. There's something, I don't know if it was because of the Joe Montana days or just because of, and Green Bay, obviously, Vince Lombardi, where it all started. I just love the teams with history. I do. You know what I mean? Granted, all the teams, have their history and stuff like this, but I don't know. I guess that there's some significance for me from a historical or something that I've noticed about that particular team. What about you?
Well, for hockey, and I'm probably going to get punched in the face for this, but because I'm half French Canadian, it would be the Montreal Canadiens.
Holla! High five!
Okay. Montreal has a lot. They didn't even make it to the playoffs last year.
But I do like. Oh, we lost me again. I do like the Edmonton Oilers. I know '86 was a rough year, but I do like the Oilers. Basketball. Oh man. I hate every team out there. I really do. And it would be probably...
I'm going to go with Connecticut Suns.
That's the WNBA.
I'm going to get back to that. For baseball, it would be the Houston Astros.
Astros is a good team.
Love the Astros. Football, definitely Minnesota. Baseball, basketball, shit, I have no clue. I've never rooted for another team in my whole life.
I know. It is very difficult because the thing is once you are a Boston fanatic, it's Boston or bust.
Well, growing up, I was always playing basketball, and Bird was my man love. I mean, I obsessed about this guy.
Sure.
To the point where I went to go work where he played at, And I would literally sit on the bench and just watch this man play, and practice. So, who the hell is out there who's old school basketball?
Well,
it'd have to be the Knicks or.
Well, you got.
Right. Where did Magic Johnson go to play?
L.A.
Yeah,
and that's
too much trauma in my life with L.A.
Now, and that's the other thing. There was that whole rivalry between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Mm-hmm. Now, if the Phoenix Suns didn't exist, and Boston didn't exist,
I'd have to punch you in the face because you're going to say the two letters.
I would go with L.A. Lakers.
Oh, man. I'm throwing Bernie out the window as we speak.
But here's the thing, because they had championship caliber players and
they had Magic Johnson.
Well, no, don't forget about...
I liked Magic Johnson.
Well, don't forget about Will Chamberlain. Don't forget about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There's a lot of history between the L.A. and Boston. So... And I love Philadelphia as well. Philadelphia 76ers just because of Julius Erving. I do like
Maurice Cheeks. You didn't like Maurice Cheeks?
Oh Jesus! Then you had the original Isaiah Thomas when the original Isaiah Thomas when he played for Detroit Pistons. Mm-hmm. And you can't go wrong with the Chicago Bulls when Michael Jordan was there with Scottie Pippen. That was another caliber team that they were just unstoppable. And that was Larry Bird had that tail end where he literally had to pass on that torch, and that became that whole history between Philadelphia and Chicago and L.A. with the whole Boston thing.
But the game, in my eyes, the game changed when Bird retired.
In what respect, I guess, is my question.
Bird played basketball like a chess match. He found your weakness, and he would. I'm just going to say he's going to make you look foolish because you're not paying attention.
The whole team did that in the 80s. The whole team did that.
Yeah, and now it's more razzle dazzle. I'm the best, in your face. Watch how far I can jump. Watch how massive this dunk is going to be.
Yeah,
Bird would just go, listen, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and there's nothing you can do about it. Mm-hmm. And basically give him the playbook and told you that was about to happen.
Mike,
I will say that I can't remember his name, but there's the little short guy on the Celtics. He's like super, super short.
Marcus Smart?
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now?
Oh,
okay.
But he went up against like the super tall guys and would just like.
Yeah, well, there's a few of them. There's a few of them. But you know what? They're the smart players. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's very few in the NBA. I totally agree with you. But the Larry Birds, another smart player was Michael Jordan. Yeah. He would dance around you.
He was razzle dazzle, though. I mean,
when he was going for that dunk, he can do it from half court, and he literally looked like he was flying.
Who, Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan. The guy looked like he was.
Well, yeah, and then he went baseball.
Well, he went baseball because his father wanted him to see if he could do a baseball career. He went to AAA, but he never did anything.
A lot of, like I said, a lot of the backstories for these all-star players. The backstory of Bird, how he got to where he went. Backstory of Magic Johnson, and the backstories are like, I never knew that. And you go, you know what? I respect that man now.
Right.
I mean,
sure.
Jose Posada for the Yankees.
Yep.
I friggin' hated him. But then they did the behind the scenes with the kids, and I was like, you know what? I like this man.
In the for me, the other they did a backstory on Mariano Rivera, another fucking guy that I fucking hated. But the way he grew up and what he experienced, his mom and his mom was a single mother. That was an incredible story, and it was something that was very inspiring. And I love ESPN does those particular stories, and I like the way they do that. Yeah. They really get into the real truth. I like that
because they have lives outside of how we see them. We see the razzle-dazzle bullshit and go, you know what, he sucks because he doesn't pass the ball, or he hogs the ball, or he chirps at other players or whatever. And then you go and see a special on it and go, oh, I didn't know his mother was going through that.
Right.
Your dad was suicidal?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Exactly.
My dad was suicidal. My dad was an alcoholic. My mother was this and that. And you were like, now you can relate to these players and go, unfortunately, I don't have the talent you do, and I only see you in your glory. I don't get to see you behind the bullshit. And it hits home. It's like, dude, we both had the same bullshit growing up.
Sure.
You just had talent.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this: when we don't hear this term a lot anymore, and that's the two words are role model. Mm-hmm. Now, if I said to both of you, I'll start with you, Aaron. If I said to you, in the whole sports world, I don't care, pick a sport, whatever the situation is there a role model out there for kids? Give me a name and tell me why.
Oh, man.
I would have to say Gronk. I think, he parties a lot, but he does a lot for the kids. You see him all the time at the Children's Hospital. You see him all the time out, in the community. You see him, I guess I got a personal side of him.
Here we go. Exactly what Mike was talking about.
I actually met him and sat down, and I was in a panel where his mother and his brother were all there, and they were we were all able to ask him questions and stuff like that. And we got his background, and we understand, we understood where he was coming from and why he does the things that he does.
What was one of the things that you learned from him that you did not know from that experience? Do you remember anything?
Well, he really loves his mother. I will say that.
Yeah, I was about to say he's a mama's boy.
Oh,
it's apparent. Oh, definitely.
He is huge on family, and he didn't specifically say it, but it came across as his dad was not around much, I guess, when he was growing up. At least that's what I took from it. But he one of the things that he said was, yeah, you guys see me out at Foxwoods, you see me out, partying it up and this, that, and the other thing. But he goes, on the flip side of that, all day long I was probably, at the hospitals, or I was granting this wish for this kid, or so he really made you think about. He doesn't keep a lot of his money, and his mother's actually the one that started him on that. Mm-hmm. When he got his first paycheck, she, from the NFL, she took it, and she said, "This is going into an account, and this is going into a charity, and this, and he said, from day one, this is how my money has gone every time I get a paycheck."
That's awesome. Mikey.
Well, everybody knows Larry Bird has been my idol since I've grown up, and Tom Brady. I look at Tom Brady as the ultimate husband, father, son, uncle, whatever. He can't do anything bad. He's always doing the good stuff. Regardless of the Deflategate bullshit.
I knew you were going to say Tom Brady. I'm going to play devil's advocate because, if Driggers was here, he's going to say, here goes Bernie. He's going to play devil's advocate. So I'm going to let you finish, and then I'll bring it up. Go ahead.
I mean, if you had to switch bodies, you'd say, who would be that perfect dad? You go, who's that perfect person that that's going to do everything with their kids and family? And because that's my number one thing is family. And Tom Brady just is, to me, a role model of this is how you should raise your kids, and it's the passing of the torch. I wasn't raised right, and I said to myself, I'm not going to treat my kids like my dad treated me. So I flipped the switch. And that's Tom. He's just passing all that goodness, all that pureness to his kids. And the Brady legacy will just live on outside of football, being an awesome parent and, doing the right things. You got to do the right things.
Okay, so now here's my devil's advocate kind of thing. To me, I see two sides of Tom Brady. You're right. I see him as a great husband and a father. We understand that. Even that whole situation where, he was doing that whole interview with Alex Reamer at the sports station, and he goes, "What did you just say about my kids? You know what? You can go fuck off. I'm not doing this interview this week because you're a fucking moron over here, said something about my kid." Okay, granted. But you see this other side. He's been involved in many situations where you can say that were questionable. Your Deflategates, Cameragate, all these different things, and you'll even hear from Bill Belichick going, I don't know. Do you need to ask Tom? I don't know. You need to ask Tom. And he just passes the buck. Unless, it's something that he's passionate about, he'll speak to it. And then you have the whole TB12, and then you have this whole controversy where you get the three powers. I call it the three powers of the Patriots, and that's you have the owner, okay, you have Bill Belichick, and unfortunately you have Tom Brady.
Wait, you just say unfortunately?
I say unfortunately.
Oh my God!
You're
lucky I couldn't reach you right now.
Well, I say unfortunately, and yes, I say unfortunately on this show more times than LeBron James is called the king. Now, here's why. You have to have a structure. And I think that structure